Everybody, in this video we are going to discuss the second stanza of an elementary school classroom in a slum. So as we had already discussed in the first stanza that the poet has used different images to convey the problems that the children of slums face. Now in this stanza, the second one, the poet is telling us about the poor infrastructure of the classroom, that the situation of the classroom or the condition of the classroom is not very good. So let's see how that has been conveyed. On sour cream walls, donations. So it means the walls are sour cream, pale, faded, discolored, dull. Of course, they might not have been painted for several weeks or months. They might not have budget or whatever, but the condition is not very good. Donations. Now, it means whatever is hanging there in the classroom on the walls are the things they got in donation. So as people like ministers, local politicians or dignitaries, when they visit, they donate something to the school. So they also have a donation. Now the poet has enlisted all those things they have there in the classroom which they have got in donation. So one of them is Shakespeare's head. The purpose of enlisting all those things is to show that the things there in the classroom are all useless, are all meaningless, because they are not going to improve the prospect of these children. So, how that is? Shakespeare, there is a picture of Shakespeare. Now, the children, they don't understand who this man is. Who is Shakespeare? And moreover, Shakespeare is not going to give them 2 times meal. The reason is they are never taught about Shakespeare. Yes? The reason of calling Shakespeare meaningless or useless is they have never been taught about Shakespeare. They don't know who Shakespeare is or what is his importance in the literary world. They don't know anything about Shakespeare. So how can they admire? How can they admire the works of Shakespeare? How can they admire Shakespeare? So that's why it is useless. Cloudless at dawn. The picture showing clear morning sky without any clouds, whose life is completely cloudy. How can they admire the picture of clear, cloudless morning sky? Or what is the use? Making fun of them. Perhaps the poet is making fun of them, but no, actually it is not that. Poet is not making fun of them. He is trying to bring out their situation, their miserable condition. Civilized dome riding all cities. Multi-story buildings, skyscrapers. The picture on the walls show multi-story buildings. Now, will they ever be able to enjoy any such place in their whole life? Perhaps never. They won't even be allowed to enter any such place. Then what's the use of keeping the picture of such buildings in their classroom? Tempting them? Perhaps this is to show that they are not destined for these things. These joys, these pleasures are not in their destiny, are not in their lot. And belled, flowery Tyrolese Valley. Tyrolese Valley is symbolic of natural beauty. Tyrolese Valley is full of beautiful flowers and plants and variety of vegetation. It symbolizes the beauty of nature. But even that beauty of nature is not in their destiny. It's not meant for them, because the whole life, morning to night, they are busy in picking rags and doing such menial jobs. So how can they enjoy the beauty of nature? And there is one more thing. Apart from all these things mentioned, there is one more thing, and that is open-handed map. Awarding the world. Now, this open-handed map means a map drawn by somebody with all its dimensions and showing all the territories. Open-handed map. Awarding the world its world. So, there is a map in the classroom, and the map tells the children that this is the world, not the world where they live. The slum is not the world. World is here. The map shows them the world. But and yet for these children, these windows and not this map are their world. So there is a map showing them the world. Open-handed map, which I said, a map drawn by somebody with all its dimensions and showing all the territories. But the poet says, for these children, for the slum dwellers, not this map. For them, this map is not the world. What? These windows are their world. That means the map for them is nothing, just they only see the zigzag lines. They don't understand the map. What does it suggest? How can it be the world? Because they have never been taught. So their world is what they see through the windows, because what they see through the windows, they know, they understand, they are familiar with, and they can recognize. So how can just a piece of paper or just the lines drawn on the map can be their world, which they don't understand at all, which they have never been taught? So the map is meaningless to them. It is useless. And even the world which they seem, which they consider to be their world, which they take to be their world, even there the picture is not rosy. How? See the poet convey this idea where their future is painted with fog, where their future is painted with fog. So even in their world, or which they consider to be their world, the picture is not rosy because future is painted with fog. And fog means we cannot see anything clearly through fog. That means there is uncertainty in their world. Nothing is sure in their world. They are not sure, they are not certain whether they'll get the next meal, whether they'll be able to see tomorrow's sun. There is no certainty in their world. So how will they be able to enjoy any such thing? These are all meaningless for the slum children. Now, the poet further says, narrow street, sealed in with lead sky. So they live in narrow streets. Narrow street sealed in with lead sky. So it means that they live in narrow areas, cramped, congested areas. We have seen what is the condition in slums, very narrow streets and cramped places, cramped houses. So they live in narrow areas, sealed in with lead sky. Even the sky over them is not bright. That means there is no hope. There is no hope of upliftment. There is no hope of betterment. Even the sky is dark for them. There is no scope or hope for any betterment in their life. Far, far. The poet is again repeating things. Far, far from rivers, cats, and stars of birds. So again the poet is talking about the natural beauty, that even that natural beauty is not in their destiny. They can't enjoy the beauty of nature because their life is such. They don't have any time to enjoy or go in the lap of nature and enjoy the pleasures of nature. So they are away from such things like rivers and caves. The poet has used repetition here. Repetition is a figure of speech when we repeat two words or when we repeat a word consecutively. So far has been repeated here. Now, there is one more thing mentioned, that is stars of words. That means education. So even education is not in their lot. They don't have proper education even. Even if they go to school, they drop out in just their primary classes. They don't get complete or proper education. So even these simple, common, basic things are not in their life. So thus in this second stanza, the poet is talking about the miserable condition of the classroom, that all the things there in the classroom which they have got in donations are useless and meaningless for them because they are not destined to enjoy these pleasures in their life. Their life is completely miserable and wretched. So that's how he conveys that idea. Thank you very much. Next stanza in the next video.